Hey, Gigs Movie Page, this is Michael, and even though I said I wasn't going to talk about the sequel, I figured I would be a dick if I didn't at least cover it since it's part of the franchise, and I'm pretty sure now, thanks to Paramount screwing the pooch of the TV spot, it's now officially canon, and thanks for the spoilers, morons. I'm still going to go see it regardless, but I'm going to talk about XXX State of the Union. Now, I had real high hopes for this movie, and then I was kind of shot down gently. It's not a bad movie. I mean, it's a decent action film. It's just, I think, the way they executed the movie and the way they changed formulas from generic, brainless Daredevil action movie to political 3 Days of the Condor, Winter Soldier kind of film, just, eh. So, Paramount did a TV spot for XXX, Return of Xander Cage today, and they gave away one hell of a spoiler, which I'm not going to spoil. I'm not a dick. You know, I didn't spoil on Facebook for certain people the ending to Rogue One and certain other movies. I'm not gonna spoil this, and I didn't. Somebody spoiled the Walking Dead season premiere for me about who Negan killed, which really pissed me off. Thanks, dude. But I'm not gonna spoil it. But I will. I figured I should talk about State of the Union because it's technically canon and it's still a sequel. Anyways, so with XXX State of the Union, they changed several things. They changed directors, they changed XXX's, and they had to change storylines. Ice Cube took over and is now playing Darius Stone, former Navy SEAL turned prisoner because of he led a mutiny against the 4-star general who is played by Willem Dafoe, who is now the Secretary of Defense, General George Decker, and there lies in our movie. Also, we had new actors join the cast like Scott Speedman, Peter Strauss as the president, Exhibit joined the cast, and then of course you have Sam Jackson and Michael Roof returning, reprising their characters as Augustus Gibbons and Toby Lee Shaver as the nerd. So, and well, might as well just start talking about the movie. So, the movie opens up with the farm outside of Virginia, well, technically in Virginia, outside of Washington, gets attacked by a special sweeper team. These guys are military, what have you. And behold, they end up behind the underground. The farm actually happens to be the CIA base, which happens to the CIA Mount Weatherly base, which also happens to have where Augustus Gibbons is at, and also happens to be the new home of the XXX program. They have the 3 X's on the doors. And so when they're infiltrated, Gibbons knows something's up. So right then and there, he tells everybody, go on lockdown. Everybody grab your guns and get ready. We're being attacked. So everybody gets murdered in a melee except for Gibbons, who, of course, we need him alive. He, with the help of a shotgun and a couple handguns, he actually takes out a little armored little drone, grabs it, and then ends up running for the escape pod. And with the help of Shavers, who was actually in the R&D barn up on the surface, not underground, he's actually holding the XXX revolver. Gibbons says, stand ease, give me the keys. I'm going to get the keys to a brand new GTO, which is what I thought was one of the best things about the movie. The GTO that Cage had returns, but also new colors, new upgrades. And with the help of Gibbons getting behind the wheel and Shavers escaping along with his computer notes, they take out their soldiers. They also blow up the barn. They escaped, and now they realize that we're on the run. We have to be on the grid now. We have to find something else. We need another XXX. We need to find somebody else. No more surfers, no more skateboarders, no more Daredevil guys. We need to find somebody else who's more dangerous. Basically, we need to find a Black Ops soldier. And so Shaver's like, well, who the hell are we going to get? And it cuts to Ice Cube's character in prison, Stone, who is basically there, and for reasons we don't know yet, but we will soon, ultimately, he's going to be our new XXX. So while this is happening, Willem Dafoe, playing the go-to bad guy in movies, plays General George Decker, the Secretary of Defense, who tells the President, played by Peter Strauss, that an NSA chapter was hit on our own soil. We don't know who it is, but deep down, we kind of know that you're the guy. It's your fault. You're responsible. But while this is happening, Gibbons goes to the prison where Stone's at and basically just says, excuse me, has an interview with him and lies saying that he's Stone's lawyer, Jonathan Earl Cochran. Wink, wink. So they're talking, and he tells him, "I need your help." It'd be like old times. Last time I helped you, I was sent here. So then he does the same speech about the lions in the wild speech to Stone that he did to Cage, and he asks him, "You still doing that boring ass speech?" It works sometimes. Long story short, at noon, I want you to meet me at high ground. I'll take care of the rest. You don't screw me on this, Gibbons. So right then and there, they plan a prison escape involving Stone. Involving Stone breaking out, doing a couple, beating up some of the guards. Going to a rooftop, and then of course, he tells them, "I want you to jump off." He does jump off, and then there's a helicopter waiting, carrying him, Gibbons, and Shavers, and some drugged guy. So obviously, they broke out of the pen. Lovely. And that's when he tells them, flat out and simple, "Look, I need to haul high." What are you talking about? Darius Stone no longer exists. Well, who the hell am I? You're the new XXX. Sounds like a porn star name. Wink, wink. And he asked him what happened to the old XXX. He's dead. Oh, okay, well, that helps. And so, basically, he says, if we're going to do this, I need the one thing a man in lockdowns would need, if you know what I'm feeling. So, one greasy-ass cheeseburger and a milkshake and fries later, Stone feels better about himself and says, "All right, boys, I'll help." And, of course, he has to break Shavers' balls in the meantime, but then again, Shavers is kind of being a dick to the guy. Like, don't be a dick to the former Black Ops soldier who just spent years in the pen. Just don't. While this is happening, NSA agent Kyle Steele, played by Scott Speedman, is in the remains of the old XXX CIA office. He looks around, and one of his partners says, "We got a problem." "What's that?" "Xander Cage was killed in Bora Bora last night." Bora Bora, why don't I get those options? Which I kind of thought was shitty. The guy who was the star and the hero of the last movie ends up just being a throwaway character. Just saying, "Oh, he was killed in Bora Bora last night." Wink, wink. And I don't even mention the lame-ass 10-minute movie I talked about. Even though that they kind of led up to it, it's like, no, we just forget about that. He died in Bora Bora last night. He wasn't with some hot chick in his apartment in LA last night, and it wasn't some Mexican stand-in for Vin Diesel playing him. I don't know, whatever. So, they're trying to figure out what's going on, and at the same time, they're trying to figure out what is Gibbons alive or not? And then they get videotape of what happened, where Stone was broken out of prison, and then we know about Stone's past, that he was raised in Compton, and they all showed some of the old NWA photos, which I thought was kind of awesome. And then they showed this really bad CGI photo of Ice Cube babyface, which is something I thought was odd because I've never ever seen Ice Cube without any facial hair, just never. So even in Boys in the Hood, he always had like a little mustache. So just always every time I see Ice Cube, I just think of Doughboy or Craig, just yelling, "You got knocked the fuck out." Sorry. But, no F-bombs in this movie, so they're trying to figure out what's going on. And now, of course, Stone, they said, Stone met his lawyer, Jonathan Earl Cochran. Oh, that's cute. Johnny Cochran. And, of course, they joke, "Oh, I don't think Stone can afford Johnny's legal fees." What the hell are Gibbons and Stone doing? A comeback tour? And so while this is happening, they're trying to find a safe... While this is happening, Stone, Gibbons, and Shavers are trying to find a place they can hide safe. They meet Exhibit, one of Stone's old friends. I forget his character name. And rather than trying to come up with a name, I'm just like, Exhibit. He tells him, "Hey, man, what happened to the old warehouse?" "Oh, I took over." "Well, where's what's her name?" "She's uptown. She works at a Ford dealership." "Oh, okay." So then they go over there, and then he says, "I need a car, and I need a place to lay low." "Well, I'll tell you what. How about this badass Ford F-150? It's muscle to the gills and everything. Cool. I'll give you that for a 73 GTO. Nice. And first, Shavers doesn't want to part with the car because that's a GTO, man. But still, it's part of the VIN XXX, not this new one, so they have to get rid of it. Plus, again, the car is going to be, people are going to be looking for that car, so you might as well trade it in for something less conspicuous. And so while they're setting up shop, he tells them, "I need you to do something." "What do you mean?" "Well, you and the general were fighting. Remember this? It was a hell of a lot worse before you went in." Which is funny because in the first movie, Gibbons' eye was kind of a little bit dilated, and his scar was from here all the way to here. However, in the movie, the scar goes from here to here, so he had some work done, and his eye's normal. So, in a weird sense, Gibbons got a little cosmetic surgery, which I thought was kind of cool. That he just got over his own personal what have you, and was able to get back to, doing his thing, so anyways, so this side they need to go back. They need to go back to get this piece of missing archive footage, where they have to basically Shavers and Stone are going to have to go, while Gibbons is going to go back to his place and find something else. At first, he's not okay with it, but then after talking to Stone, Stone just tells Gibbons, there's an old saying, wars come and go, but my soldiers stay eternal. I like that. I said it. Jefferson, Patton, Tupac. And then they're on their merry little way. So while Stone and Shavers are at the old CIA compound, and Stone has the old XXX revolver, they also, not only do they break back into it, he at the same time, Steele and the rest of the guys are after him now too in pursuit. And then there's a boat chase which also leads into them trying to figure out who the hell Stone is. We get like a little action stunt piece. So even though you're not going to see Ice Cube jumping out of a plane with a parachute and a snowboard, you're not going to see him doing some BMX stuff with a motocross bike, you're not going to see him free skiing off of a mountain in Costa Rica. Basically, you know that this XXX is a badass, but he's not a daredevil. So that happens. While this is happening, Stone gets ambushed by Deckard and his crony, Bama, who I mentioned in the previous movie, who was in the film, and the guy that Stone will eventually have to fight. He tells him flat out and simple, I'm gonna do what I can to protect this country, and well, you won't be around to see it. So basically, they kill Gibbons, or did they? While this is happening, everybody thinks Gibbons is dead. While Shavers is heartbroken, Stone asks him, I need your help. They need to find out what is going on and why was Gibbons so important to this. And while this is happening, they also made a new contact named Charlie, who happens to be a blonde-haired minx. So Stone finally puts on a suit and tie and goes undercover and decides, maybe you can help me figure out what is going on. And then while this is happening, Stone finally while this is happening, and he's trying to infiltrate a White House gala, Stone, dressed like a butler, gets the information he needs, and with the help of Charlie, they escape to her house in Virginia. Of course, while there's a dead man in her house while Stone cleans up. And then, to make matters worse, Steele and the rest of the guys come in, and Steele tries to talk to Stone, saying, look, man, they're going to take you by force. What are you going to do? I'm going to escape. Same time, I'm also going to make myself a snack. Do what you got to do. I'm going to do what I got to do. So, in a sense, we get a fact of what Stone and Stone and Steele will do. To me, I was okay with the movie. I don't know. I mean, I really wasn't feeling that 3 Days of the Condor kind of conspiracy theory kind of thing. The movie was pretty good. I'll give it that. It had a decent soundtrack. I mean, this was more rap than it was rock. I mean, the first one had like one CD with rock music and techno, and the other one had rap. And Ice Cube actually did a song for that movie soundtrack as well. And then, I forget the name of it. But then he does a soundtrack for this movie too called Anyone Seen the Popo? And they play it in a scene where they end up hijacking a truck, which they thought it was cheese, but actually ended up being military arsenal, and Stone gets his guns, and then so does his whole team. Coin and Exhibit do a remake of Public Enemy's Fight the Power, which I have on my playlist, which is a badass cover of it. Trying to think. Jaquan ended up doing the soundtrack theme song at the end of the movie. I really wasn't a fan of the song, not to mention I didn't even know who the hell Jaquan was at the time, and now, to me, it just seemed like a one-hit wonder. I can't even remember what song he did. I mean, it didn't have, the music wasn't as good as the first movie, where they had rap, they had rock, they had techno, death metal, all this stuff, Plus, the theme song wasn't as catchy as Gavin Rossdale's Adrenaline, and I know I'm going to get a lot of shit for that, but sue me, so... All in all, if you're going to watch the first movie, you might as well watch the second one. It's not going to hurt, It helps going into XXX-3, so... Anyways, I thought Ice Cube did a decent job playing somebody who's not Xander Cage, and a lot of people shit on him for it, but I'm like, guys, leave him be. This isn't, are we there yet, are we done yet? So, I'll give him the man his due. Anyways, thanks once again, and I'll see you guys later.